Hello, podcast listeners. This is Lain back with another fantastic interview with another fantastic instructor for True Scrap 5. I have Tammy Tutterow, who we have convinced to join the ranks of the True Scrap instructors. Little does she know that once she's in, you cannot leave. She's looking scared. Tammy, I am really excited to be working with you because you've been around the industry for a while. I've been around the industry for a while, but we had never really connected before I approached you about teaching for True Scrap. So it's going to be really fun to work with you.
I'm very excited about it.
Now, your class I'm excited about as well. It's called Memory Minutes, Documenting Your Stories in Bite-Sized Chunks. And before I started recording, I was just talking with you a little bit about how it was a development. It was kind of a couple iterations, go-rounds, before we found a topic where you said, you know what, that's it. That's really what I want to teach. So tell us a little bit about how this idea came to be and how it differs from general scrapbooking that people might already be doing.
Well, I think if somebody follows me, they know that maybe I'm not really much of a scrapbooker. And I just kind of like to make stuff. I always refer to myself as a stuff maker. I like techniques and I just like playing with inks and stuff. And it's never really about the end project to me. It's just about the process. And in July, we lost our dog we'd had for 12 years, Chunky Monkey. He was a Boston Terrier. I never really thought I was a pet person. You know, I had this dog because it was the right thing to do for my kids and everything. But when we lost him, I kind of realized I was a pet person after all. And he was ill the last couple of weeks of his life. And I was really trying to remember things about what day did we bring him home and just different little things. And I couldn't remember. And I was so frustrated with myself because I couldn't remember these things. And at the time, they seemed so important. And when I got into scrapbooking or paper crafts, I started by trying to scrapbook. And so I went back and I had pages. I had made some scrapbook pages about the dog and bringing him home and meeting the kids and stuff. And so I had recorded all of those dates that I was trying so hard to remember. And my scrapbooking period was very short-lived when I realized that I wasn't a scrapbooker, I was a crafter. But I was so thankful that I had those pages. So that really started kind of weighing on me, you know, because in that time since we got him, I had another child and just all kinds of things. And I haven't documented anything about her life and those dates. I've taken pictures, but so anyway, I thought it kind of dawned on me. I kind of had a light bulb moment about how important recording those memories were. And I knew that scrapbooking was hard for me, and I wanted to find something that was me.
Right.
And how to record those memories. And I make a lot of tags. And, you know, people said, because I'd kind of posed this conversation on my blog, and people were like, oh, Project Life. But every time I looked at Project Life, it seemed overwhelming, and it seemed like this big commitment. And I thought, it's neat, and it's fast, and you're recording these memories, but is it me?
Yeah.
And so I kind of hit on this idea of making these little memory tags, and I showed these in my class. So I just started making. One day I just thought, you know, I love taking pictures with my phone, and just those little moments in life that maybe I'm not going to do a whole page about. Let's see. I always have a hard time figuring out where the camera is.
Looks good.
So this is just a really quick iPhone picture of my little girl meeting me at the airport after I came back from a business trip. And it's not a whole scrapbook page, but that moment made me so happy about how glad I am to see her because she runs to me in the airport and how happy that makes me. And so I like making tags and I wanted to remember that moment. And so I just made a pretty little tag. You know, it was about the process and I included a picture. And I'm not much of a journaler, but the dates and times and stuff were important. So I thought, you know, on a tag, I can just record whatever I want. And one thing about scrapbooking that was always a problem for me with journaling was that I knew it was important to have it in my handwriting, but I'm kind of OCD. And if I'd make a little slip in my handwriting or something, I was like, oh, it's ruined. The whole page is ruined. I can do that on the back of this tag and it's fine. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect or whatever. And so I'm just making these as little moments. You know, I got a little printer that I can print from my iPhone, just print it right off. And so quick moments, you know, it was all about just finding a way for me that works for me to to do these quick moments and record little memories.
I
So
love that. I love that. And it's I love how you picked something that was going to work for you. You didn't do Project Life or pocket scrapbooking because that was the trend and that was what everybody else was doing, and you didn't stick with the traditional scrapbooking just because you'd started or because you felt like you had to or anything. You really, it's been a process of developing something that's going to work for you, but still record those memories that you want to record. And I think there's going to be a lot of people who either may really resonate with your thoughts about Project Life or traditional scrapbooking and want to move kind of completely over to this style, or they may say, you know what, that's absolutely right. I don't necessarily want to create a 12 by 12 page or 12 by 12 spread with 14 photos of, the gum wrappers that my daughter leaves in her pockets and, but that would make a cute little tag. So I think it's really going to complement scrapbooking well. And if people aren't scrapbookers, they're really going to find a lot of value in the idea that they can capture those special memories without having to invest in their time and energy in this whole process that may not fit their style.
And don't get me wrong, I think Project Life and the Pocket system, I think it's really cool. And I love the things, the tags and the labels and everything that are coming out with that in mind. And I'm buying lots of them because they work great on tags.
Yes.
And, a 12 by 12 layout is a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. I love seeing people document their lives that way. It just doesn't fit for me. And rather than lose out, I think that's the important thing about this hobby is that it's anything you want it to be. You don't have to follow any kind of mold. You can just look at it and go, what do I want to capture and what works for me? Someday my kids probably are not going to care anything about these tags, but it was the process and the moment and capturing the memory for myself. And it made me happy. And I think that's really, in any kind of creative hobby, what you have to figure out is what makes you happy in the process,
That's so true.
And that's a little moment of escape for me. I wanted, like my, the art tags I make are always very technique based. And, I'll spend maybe a couple hours messing around making one tag. And I didn't want this to be this. I wanted it to be fast. And it was capturing a moment. And I didn't want making the tag to really take much more than the moment itself. So, so I'm excited about the idea of it. And going through my phone, looking at all these different things, and silly little things like the picture of the Starbucks cup in the Target cart. I was like shopping and I looked down, I'm like, that makes me happy. Target and Starbucks together, it makes me happy. So let's make a tag about it, or a little index card or whatever you find that works. So
yeah, I love this because you could then take those tags and incorporate them in a traditional scrapbook on a page if you wanted to. You could put them on a binder ring and just have it be your happy ring. You could put it in an art journal. You could use it as a gift card for someone. You could turn this into the December Daily. If this is much more approachable for December Daily than creating an album to me. I mean, I could do this for December Daily, where I have failed miserably in previous years.
I'm not even going to scratch that. I'm not even going to try.
So I just love this. And I think it also complements, if people have been listening to our series of interviews, it's a great compliment to Jennifer Gallagher's actually talking about 2-page scrapbook spreads for those larger stories or multiple photos that you can't fit on one page, but it's really showing the flexibility of what scrapbooking and memory keeping and our craft can be. And I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate how intentional the process was in coming up with a topic that would work for a crafter teaching at a scrapbooking event. And it's really exciting for me. So I'm excited to welcome you to True Scrap.
Well, I'm very thrilled to be.
Now I have a question for you. When people ask you what you do, what do you say? I meet you at the PTA. Hi, Tammy. I'm Lain. So what do you do?
I tell them I'm a professional crafter. I mean, that's what I do. I work from home. I make things all day. My blog is, I consider it a job, but I also work for Sizzix as well. So for Sizzix, I manage their blog and their team and get on social media and talk to people and answer their questions. And so how cool is that? I have a creative job where I get to make things and talk to people about making things, and I get a paycheck for it.
Isn't that amazing?
And then I get to do cool things like True Scrap.
Yep.
And interact with people who are passionate about what I'm passionate about.
And they're usually happy because they're doing something that they love versus, if we were in the accounting industry or something, it's not quite as exciting.
Well, for 15 years, I was a 911 dispatcher. Um, so about 2 years ago, I quit and kind of took that jump to see if I couldn't. I needed a change of pace and a life change, and so I took the jump and thought, can I make something of this creative life? And I have. I'm very, very fortunate. And in the mornings when I stumble down the stairs into the basement and I got to go to work, I think, gosh, I'm living the dream. It's amazing.
It's
It's
like
like,
it's like that bumper sticker, the worst day fishing beats the best day in the office. That's how I feel. My worst day scrapbooking beats the best day pretty much any place else. So you're
absolutely,
very lucky. Well,
absolutely.
for those of you who are listening, if you want to hear more about what Tammy's doing, head over to our blog, layoutaday.com/podcast106 for the 106th episode. There will be a link to Tammy's blog from there. There will also be a link to True Scrap, so you can sign up. You have just a little bit more time to save that $50 with the code LUCKY50 at checkout. That's good only through the end of September. And then you can join Tammy, me, and about 14 or 15 other instructors in October as we embark on True Scrap 5. So excited to talk with you, Tammy. Thank you so much.
Yay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.